So I said, babe, and now that you have made that connection with why you've been self-sabotaging, you've never had that awareness before. You've never known why emotionally, why you have been continuing to self-sabotage in the area of your health, why you have not been able to get traction in this area of your life before. I said, now that you know, babe, now it's not if, it's just when. And I said, because you now are able to start working through these issues of abandonment and stuff, and you know, now that you're aware, now, babe, now it's not if anymore. You don't have to wonder, well, man, you know, am I going to be successful in this area of my life? Babe, there's not an area of your life that you haven't been successful in when you don't have emotional baggage, when you're not self-sabotaging. So, babe, now that you know, and now that you're going to start working on this stuff, it's done. In my head, babe, it's a done deal. You are like, it's just a matter of time now. Now, like, I'm so excited for you to begin or re-begin working on your health, your physical health, because now you know the emotional things. Now you can be getting emotionally healthier in this area, which is going to directly relate to your physical health. Welcome to the EQ for Entrepreneurs podcast. Like most business owners, you already know you need good business and marketing strategies to scale and be profitable. But at some point, you've hit the dreaded wall where you feel stuck and frustrated. EQ for Entrepreneurs is for business owners and leaders who are honest enough to admit that they just might be the ones holding their business back and are brave enough to change that.
We're Noble and Kathy, and every week we're having candid conversations about all things emotional intelligence and how growing that has allowed us to get out of our own way and is radically transforming both our businesses and our personal lives. This is the secret sauce strategy for modern entrepreneurs who are tired of hustling without seeing results and want to grow a business and a life that they love.
What is going on, EQ for Entrepreneurs Tribe? Thank you all for watching this either on our YouTube channel or listening to this on our podcast. Today is an awesome day. My awesome wife had a recent massive breakthrough that I want to share with you all. And, you know, if she wants to, she'll be able to do, you know, her own episode on this and kind of maybe go into more details. But I just wanted to just share this a massive, literally 15 to 20 year breakthrough that she had just recently. And on a walk, she, you know, for her, you know, walking in where we live in Colorado Springs, it is therapy. There's no humidity, you know, the weather is amazing out here, and she just, that's her therapy, just being able to go on walks and think and process. And a lot of times she'll take our golden doodle on a walk with her, which he's finally starting to mellow out after 4 years. He's starting to mellow out. So, and a couple admin things here. So we, for those of you all that are interested in taking an EQ assessment, an emotional intelligence assessment, we have access now. You know, I'm a certified EQ practitioner, which gives me access to a scientific emotional intelligence assessment to be able to administer it to folks. And then also that along with that comes a 1 hour kind of interpretation or coaching session to help understand what the results of your assessment would be. You can go to eqforentrepreneurs.com/training and check out some of the details of that assessment. It's super fascinating, and it's what I'm using right now to put together a 12-month coaching program for a corporate client of mine with their 9 senior executives. And it's been such a fascinating, very eye-opening, very helpful, productive journey already. And we just are only a couple months into this coaching program with these executives. So again, that's eqforentrepreneurs.com/training. And you can get, check out that assessment if that's something you'd like to do. And if you have questions about it, again, you can just email us at info@eqforentrepreneurs.com. And then we have our next 8-week course on emotional intelligence, teaching folks emotional intelligence, helping grow your emotional intelligence. So if you feel you're at a phase in your life where you're ready to take kind of that next level of commitment and really want to begin or continue, I guess, 2021 as a very impactful, intentional year of emotional growth, you can check that out as well. That's eqforentrepreneurs.com/EQA. EQA for EQ Accelerator course, EQA. And that's for those that may be interested in checking out our 8-week course on emotional intelligence. And that's a combination of both videos, a series of 40 to 50 videos over the course of the 8 weeks, where we release, it's broken down into 4 modules of 10 videos. And every 2 weeks, we open up another one of those 4 modules. And then it also has so along with those videos, they're about 5 minutes each, 5 to 8 minutes each. Kathy created an amazing workbook to go along with those video lessons. And then we also have weekly group coaching and discussion around each of those 4 main domains of emotional intelligence, which are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social management. And again, that's eqforentrepreneurs.com/EQA. Okay, now to the big, giant, massive, literally 15 to 20 year breakthrough that Kathy has recently had in her life. So both of us have struggled with our physical health. Both of us have. For me, my entire life, I could argue, for sure. And then for Kathy, maybe for, again, 15 or 20 years. And, many of you know that I had a breakthrough 7 months ago with my emotional health as it relates to my physical health. So I have done, no kidding, probably 70 to 80 diets over the past 20 years. And my success track record was maybe the most was probably 3 days. There was one time when I had an accountability partner that I think I had 2 months of success, and then all fell apart and my self-sabotage kicked in and I gained it all back. Well, after about 3 years of emotional growth and emotional healing, 7 months ago, well, oddly enough, I had reached the biggest I'd ever reached. And then a buddy of mine called, some of you guys know the story, and talked to me about intermittent fasting and a little bit of the keto principles and stuff. And so because of my emotional healing up to that point, I was finally able to take that new information for me and apply it and not self-sabotage. So the first time in 15 to 20 years for me of not self-sabotaging. And so now I have a 7-month track record on my physical fitness and health. I'm down 45 pounds. I have been more consistent in my Brazilian Jiu Jitsu than I have ever been. I've been consistent now 5 to 6 days a week, 1 to 2 hours a day of Jiu Jitsu for 7 months now. And it's been game changing and life changing. My eating has tremendously improved. I'm not just eating all day, constantly, even at night, I would not stop eating. No kidding, I would not stop eating. I would snack throughout the entire day, nonstop. okay. And then finally, again, now over the past 7 months, I have not been. And so with Kathy, she has also probably done as many diet attempts as I have, probably 70 to 80 different diet attempts. And again, all have been, for the most part, unsuccessful. And I knew, just based on my own experience, that she just had to figure out what was going on emotionally behind and underneath her physical fitness, her physical health. What were the stories she was telling herself? What was the deep underlying thing? And she couldn't figure it out. And I couldn't either. I couldn't provide any other insights other than maybe some helpful questions to ask herself. But until earlier this week, when she went on a walk in our neighborhood, and beautiful day out, we've got the Rocky Mountains that we're able to look at, and which is just almost therapy by itself. And she came back and she said, Noble, it clicked. I finally understand why I have been unsuccessful at my attempts to get physically healthy. And so, man, I am all ears, because again, this has been a 2-decade journey for us and struggle for us. And so, I asked her, okay, babe, like what's the deal? Give me the skinny. I'm all ears. And so she shared that. So one of in her emotional growth journey, the thing that has been very challenging for her based on some childhood things has been abandonment. Abandonment has been like her kryptonite. Now again, she wasn't even aware of this whole abandonment issue that she had prior to a few years ago when we went to counseling. And that's when it all when it all came out. Again, because of some childhood things, one being her mother was diagnosed with cancer when Kathy was in junior high, and dealt with and fought with cancer for 7 years. And it was brutal, obviously for her mother, but it was tough on the whole family. And with her mother eventually passing away when Kathy was in high school. Well, one of the subconscious things that happened to Kathy was she was like, well, and obviously amidst the grief and obviously the mourning, the loss of her mother, and which again, it would have been it was very, very tough on her. But one of the stories and the commitments and the vows that came out of that was, those closest to me, those that I love the most, are going to leave me. They're going to abandon me. Now, this wasn't conscious. This wasn't some like thing that she was consciously aware of. It happened subconsciously. And again, there was another thing that happened to her in her childhood where she also made that same commitment because of some things that happened when she was younger, maybe 10 or 11, that she also, when she was 10 or 11, was kind of like the first time, okay, when I need my loved ones the most, when I need my parents the most, they are going to leave me and I'm going to be abandoned. And really, it was they had just gone on vacation for a couple weeks, and they had the parents left Kathy and her siblings with a baby, with a couple that babysat for 2 weeks, and just had some not super positive experiences. So, but again, in her 10-year-old brain, 11-year-old brain, when the parents left on vacation, and they had, the babysitters were pretty challenging, I guess. And so, again, one of the commitments that Kathy made was, again, those that I love the most, those that I'm closest to, at some point in my life, they're going to abandon me. They're going to leave me hanging. They're going to leave me. And then boom, again, when her mother died when she was in high school, it reaffirmed that, oh, see, I was right. The story that I came up with when I was younger, right? It affirmed that story, that promise, that vow, that commitment that those closest to me, those I love, are going to abandon me. Now, again, this is all subconscious stuff, y'all. This is all way deep in the emotional part of her being. And this is how it happens. So now so now what does abandonment look like in a marriage? How do you think abandonment impacts a marriage? So now she enters this marriage relationship with this all subconscious. This is not conscious, with this subconscious thing. At some point, my husband is going to abandon me. He is going to leave me at some point. So how do I protect myself from this inevitability? It's happened before to those closest to me, with my parents. So if it for sure happened with my parents, both my parents when they went on the vacation when I was a kid, and then my mom when she passed away, well, it's definitely going to happen with my husband. So it's not if he's going to leave me, it's just when he's going to leave me, when he's going to abandon me, not if he's going to abandon me. So what did that look like? So boom, we got into business, and we started all these different businesses. And as entrepreneurs, it just led to a life of hustle and grind, which led to a life of not making the time for our own physical health, because we were, our story would be, hey, we're just too busy. We don't have time. So let's go pick up some fast food or whatever, because we're always hustling and grinding, plus our day jobs, as the military and stuff. And so we developed some very poor, very bad eating habits. We both gained a bunch of weight. And so so here's where the abandonment kicks in. So the story was that she told herself, look, because I know my husband is going to abandon me and he's going to leave me, I can't take the time or the investment, the mental, emotional, physical investment to work on my health, for healthy cooking, for physical fitness, for healthy shopping of healthy ingredients and stuff, because he's going to leave me. And so I need to spend my time working on other things, other business ideas, other skill sets, other things that I have to work on, so that when he abandons me, when he leaves me, I will be able to take care of myself, financially and that kind of thing. So I can't take the time. I can't afford to take the time to take care of myself physically, because I know he's going to bounce at some point. So I've got to, again, prepare myself in all these other ways. And so when she just came to this realization, literally this week, this was a couple of days ago, man, to say that I was ecstatic to hear that she made this is a 20-year breakthrough for her. And having just had, a similar breakthrough for me 7 months ago in my own emotional health and how it relates to my physical health, to say that I'm ecstatic for my wife is an understatement. To have that awareness of why she has been self-sabotaging her physical health, man, it's massive, y'all. It's massive. And we just talked about it today. And I just told her how proud of her I am at coming to this realization and taking that time to reflect and pray and ask God, help me understand on this emotional level, why am I self-sabotaging in the area of my physical health? I'm just, this is massive, y'all. I'm so proud of her and we talked through it, when she first came in and, hey, babe, like, here's why I've been self-sabotaging and have been able to get healthy physically. Man, I just listened and asked her questions and, okay, that's, babe, I'm so proud of you for taking, thinking through this and finally, having this massive breakthrough. And it was funny because today she said, when we were talking about this, because she was continuing to work through, right? Okay, let me unpack all this stuff and work through this stuff and figure out what stories are attached and what beliefs are attached and what values are attached and what other unhealthy promises or vows or commitments have I made that are not serving me. They're not healthy. They're not productive. So she was working through all this stuff this morning during her devotions and stuff with her Bible study. And I asked her, how do you feel about all this? And she's like, well, she's like, I'm definitely, I feel great about the fact that I've made these connections, but she's like, I don't have any track record of success in this area. So, I don't want to get overexcited or hyped because I have no track record of success in this area. And I said, but babe, check this out. I said, because she has her strengths are, she has so many amazing strengths. Focus, achiever. So if you guys have ever read the book StrengthsFinder 2.0, it's a powerful resource. StrengthsFinder 2.0, and it's a big kind of survey assessment and spits out your top 5 strengths. I mean, it actually spits out all of your strengths in order of strongest to weakest. And her strengths are achiever, activator, deliberative, focus, and strategic. And anything she puts her mind to, she crushes. Like I'm telling you, with those 5 strengths, achiever, activator, focus, deliberative, and strategic, and then responsibility is also up there. Her like, I can't tell you how productive this lady is. She is, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are other productive people out there. I don't know anyone as productive as she is. She gets whatever she puts her mind to, whatever she puts on her task list gets done. Now, maybe for all you productive people out there, like, okay, well, that's no big deal. For those of us that maybe have struggled with productivity in our lives, those of us that have struggled with ADD, ADHD, all that kind of stuff, she is a rock star. And so I told her, I said, babe, okay, your track record of your physical health, you may not have a big track record of success in the area of your physical health. I said, but babe, you have thousands of track records of success in any other area of your life that you haven't had emotional baggage or emotional self-sabotage with. You have your whole life. You have 4 decades of track records of success in your life. In every other area that you don't have this emotional baggage with, you've got 4 decades of success. So I said, babe, and now that you have made that connection with why you've been self-sabotaging, you've never had that awareness before. You've never known why emotionally, why you have been continuing to self-sabotage in the area of your health, why you have not been able to get traction in this area of your life before. I said, now that you know, babe, now it's not if, it's just when. And I said, because you now are able to start working through these issues of abandonment and stuff, and now that you're aware, now, babe, now it's not if anymore. You don't have to wonder, well, man, am I going to be successful in this area of my life? Babe, there's not an area of your life that you haven't been successful in when you don't have emotional baggage, when you're not self-sabotaging. So babe, now that you know, and now that you're going to start working on this stuff, it's done. In my head, babe, it's a done deal. You are like, it's just a matter of time now. Now, like, I'm so excited for you to begin or re-begin working on your health, your physical health, because now you know the emotional things that now you can be getting emotionally healthier in this area, which is going to directly relate to your physical health. And here's the funny thing, guys. I just had another guy who hasn't seen me in like 9 months at jiu-jitsu. Like, dude, have you lost weight? Like, what is going on? And I'm like, yeah, dude, down about 45 pounds. He's like, what diet are you doing? And so what's funny is I said, well, no, it's actually, yes, I'm doing intermittent fasting and keto and stuff, a little bit of keto principles with intermittent fasting. I said, but that's not the deal. The diet is not what's working for me. Yes, it's working for me, but I said, it's actually my emotional health. Because my emotional health has improved, now I'm getting healthier physically. The diet doesn't matter, bro. If you're not, again, for me anyway, I'm just speak for myself because I'm not a nutritionist, right? I'm not a dietitian. But personally, the only reason that intermittent fasting and keto principles are working for me is because I am at a place emotionally where I can even implement and be consistent with and follow through with intermittent fasting and keto principles. So I just wanted to share that massive breakthrough that Kathy has had, because it ties in, very similar, again, with my breakthroughs that I've had recently too, both of us. And maybe take some time to reflect in some areas. And maybe your physical health is not what you're struggling with. Maybe you're physically fit and you're healthy and physically and all that stuff. But maybe there's other areas. Maybe you're not spiritually fit. Maybe you're not socially or relationship fit. Maybe you're not financially fit. Maybe you're not your marriage or your parenting. Where are you struggling at in your life? Take the time to pray and reflect and ask yourself some questions and do some deep dives emotionally. What could be the emotional reasons? Do you have some survival mechanisms that you developed as a child when you were 5 or 7 or 12 or 13, and you experienced emotional abuse, emotional injuries, or physical abuse that led to emotional injuries, or mental abuse, verbal abuse, that all created emotional survival mechanisms that you have just held on to, that are no longer serving you. And you have these, at one point they served you as a survival mechanism, but now that you're older, you're out of that unhealthy or toxic environment, you don't need those emotional survival mechanisms anymore, and they're not serving you anymore. And now you can start to get healing in those areas, so that now you can start getting growth and traction in those areas that you may have been struggling with for a while. So anyway, I hope that story, sharing my story a little bit there about my physical health, me sharing a little bit about Kathy's big breakthroughs recently, to hopefully inspire you to find and take the time to work on some areas that may be holding you back, so that you can start getting some traction and some growth in your life as well. And remember, emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally. Another one, unaddressed emotional issues do not get better over time. In fact, the opposite, unaddressed emotional issues actually will compound over time. And pain and bitterness that's not transformed will be transferred somewhere else in your life. Stuffing and avoiding only works for so long. Trust me, I've stuffed and avoided for 98% of my life. And it's just been in the last 3 or 4 years that I'm working on not stuffing and avoiding like I have for most of my life. So emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally. So excited for your emotional growth journey. Again, if you want to check out that assessment, EQforentrepreneurs.com/training. If you want to go check out our course, our 8-week course coming up, EQforentrepreneurs.com/EQA.